from there we did double our efforts into the BMW side of the business.
Where you could focus.
And it grew from there.
So I guess by that time the range had expanded as well.
Yes, there was there's enough bikes to fill a showroom, no problem there. And the second-hand market with BMW was very good as well. And we used to look after them, and I had a philosophy of looking after customers well, and being able to be the shop where we could talk to customers. We had a great staff loyalty. People worked with us for a lot of years. I mean, they've just about gone now. I'm afraid there's nobody that worked at that shop that works for us now. I mean, some of them are dead.
Just for the time frame.
Because it's a long time ago.
So from that point, I'm guessing it kind of all started to gather momentum.
Yes, it grew from there, and then we doubled the size of that showroom because it was. We were selling that many BMWs. We just outgrew it. So we doubled the size of that showroom. It made a big difference when we did it, but it was rather unfortunate that the opening of it was going to be in June, and that unfortunately was the same year that my son David lost his life in the Isle of Man. And it put a complete dampener obviously on the opening of a new business, and a new what was virtually looking like a new shop, because it was much bigger. Yeah.
When did Louise come on board with the company?
And then at that time, Louise had just joined us and was working for us. And Louise, who had been working
the force that is Louise.
The force, yes, Loubie Lou. And she'd been working in professional, what I call corporate sort of type companies. She worked in banks. She worked for HSBC, but she started with a travel firm, a travel agency, and she did well. She became team leader and all that sort of thing in the travel industry. Then she moved to HSBC and worked there. Did very well, good training. But she had the discipline of working for big companies that train people properly.
What do you think was the key to Louise's success in these situations?
Mainly the discipline of not having a family business type environment. It was proper business type environment.
So you'd be still very much involved actually on the shop floor at this point?
Yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah.
So what was the next phase in the company?
Another opportunity came our way where I was asked to work with it was basically with Motorcycle City was part of it as well. But I got working for the whole group, which is called Bikes UK. And I was there for about 3 months, and I remember going to the CEO of that particular company and saying that you've got a brake problem here, this isn't going to work. Because they called all the dealerships by various different names. They took over dealerships, and so for argument's sake, if they took over Jefferies, they'd carry on calling it Jefferies, part of Bikes UK, instead of giving it what I thought should have been Bikes UK everywhere. And anyway, I think that they ended up buying all the Fowler's shops. So I think there's about 12 of them that they had, and they asked me if I wanted to run those shops. I got headhunted, which was quite a nice thing to happen, and they paid me a ridiculous salary, I thought at the time, and so that was an opportunity for me to say, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go do that. Louise, you run the business in Shipley. And that's what she did. And I knew that I could say, right, if I'm going to let Louise run it, she's got to establish her own authority in that business and gain the respect of the employees there. But she did exceedingly well. She took to it and got things going pretty good. And,
in her own style.
Yeah, and she put her own style on it, as you say, yeah. And that
So
worked well.
would this be? This is the pre-move to the shop where you are now.
Yeah, this is early. Just I can't remember. It's 2000, 2001. She went in there, but she did do well. And I was doing the Bikes UK, and then coming over, and obviously, I mean, I say I left her to it. We had loads and loads of phone calls. She would ring me up about I've got a problem with this, what to do with so and so, and I'd say, well, try this or try that. And by the time, actually, really, I wasn't, it says like I was giving her advice all the time. It wasn't really like that. I was just like a sounding board.
Second opinion sounding board.
By the time she explained the problem, she'd actually really had worked out what was going to happen. And then asked my opinion maybe on it, and I said, doing it, yeah, that's right, and carry on. So that's what she did, and did well, and ended up, I think, running it better than I did, to be quite honest. She's now actually become quite a force to be reckoned with, and very professional in the way she operates. But that, of course, changed dramatically because in 2009, an opportunity came up, end of 2008, an opportunity came up